Welcome back, everybody, to the Sports Ethos Toronto Raptor podcast. And all three of us are back. We got A-Rod. What's going on, A-Rod? We got El Hoopo, the H-O-O-P-O. And we got Max P. You better pay me. The Polo Don, the Polo player. Look at this new sweatshirt, the Polo player. We got a lot to talk about because we haven't spoken in a while. And guess what? The end is near to the season, so let's go. Boys, shit on top of shit on top of shit with a broken strip through the diaper with shit dripping through. That's how I describe this season. Let's go. Yeah, what do you think? Hey, Rod, we haven't spoke with you in a while. I want to get your vibe on what's going on with the Raptors,
I can't
man.
believe they extended Darko.
I knew you were going to start there.
I just messaged you guys. I said, see you in 2028, man.
Okay. I did not keep up with the news. I did not know that he got extended. That's a little bit of a slap in the face right there. That's a little bit. It's a little bit.
Like quickly too. They like upped them right away.
It's like extended for what? What did he do? I don't understand what he's done.
That's gonna be the name of the episode. Extended for what?
For what?
I wish I worked for the fucking Raptors. I'll do nothing and get extended.
Oh man.
Oh man. There's tricks paying $25 to get extended out here. Man, that's crazy. It's true. I didn't know what to think of it either. I just wrote, what did I write about? Wow. Because, like, to me, that's a bit early. That's a bit much. I'm like, okay, where are we headed with this? Because I feel like there's, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm confused as hell. I don't know what's going on. And as a Raptor fan with reality goggles on, I honestly cannot give you a clear picture of what the direction is, besides the fact that they are still riding with the idea that Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram are going to be a deadly duo. What do you think, Max? What's your vibe on this whole thing?
Yeah, man, I really wish we could start fresh with a new coach. I'd be much more optimistic about the future with B.I., Scotty, and the crew. Mm-hmm. But with this coach and no direction, seems very lazy. It'd be nice if maybe they got a solid assistant coach that was just sort of like how Darvin Ham is over there with the Bucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we could all see Doc Rivers, as usual, not doing a good job. And, as soon as they want to pull the trigger, they got Darvin Ham right there. If we had that kind of situation, maybe I could feel a little bit better. But man, the extension for nothing. Yeah, that's a slap in the face right there.
Yeah. It truly was nothing, man. Like when I woke up one day, I was just like, but why? Like that was my my first reaction. I was just say, but why, man? I don't really
it sends a bad message to the whole organization, right?
What's your idea, A-Rod, of where they're headed? What is this? What is your point of view of what this vision is? What they have? If they're up in him for the next 100 years, what do you think the Raptors? What is the vision? What do you think their vision is? Because you've been spot on with quite a bit of things the last few years, and I'm wondering what your guess is if you had to throw your dice on the table.
I honestly don't know. I think there is probably like an element of he's a player's development coach. We don't need somebody to be a good X's and O's guy right now because we're not quite there yet. So we just need somebody to make the vibe in the locker room good. And like I will say this about Darko, at least a lot of the guys are playing hard when they do play. They're playing hard. So that's a skill in itself, right? It's just for me personally, I don't know how you develop a guy if there's no play and there's no format. Like, the playing hard can only carry you so far. There has to be, like, some sort of tactics behind it, but there just doesn't seem to be any at all. Like, I'll give you an example. What have we seen out of Jamal Shed, like, the whole season? Like, what has been his developmental curve?
Nothing.
He's gone from a third-string PG to a backup PG to a guy that was leading the league, I believe, in assists off the bench, like, per minute, right? To now being a every other game guy, to being a I don't even know what his role is. Like, is he an offensive guy? Like is he just a defensive pick you up 94 feet from the basket and just like let's go?
Energizer.
Like, I don't know what the role is for him and what the curve is. Like it's just all over the place. Then we go to Jacoby Walter, and it's like, okay, Jacoby's had a couple good games, but again, where does he slot in? Because some games he's playing at the 2, some games he's playing at the 3. I don't know what his role is going to be in the future. Like he sometimes gets hot, then he started taking the Abaji like corner 3, role, and then it wasn't there, and then like now it's just like he's playing every other game. Scotty can barely even pour in 20 points against bullshit opponents every game. So I don't know what his role is. Like, is he a point forward? Is he a scorer? Is he the guy? Like, is he just like the guy that you're just letting him play so that he can try and get his all NBA first team thing? Like, I don't know, man. I really just don't see what the roles are and what the tactics are. So that's why I'm just very surprised, like, what the actual deal is with extending Darko.
You brought up a point there that which actually really just struck a nerve in me, that we have to nowadays. You make the NBA, you work your entire life to make the league, and then you need to have a parent in the room to tell you to play hard. You know what I mean? Like what is going on here? Like that that should be not even a question. Sorry, go ahead, Max. Yeah. But you know what I mean? It shouldn't be a question. I mean, we shouldn't need coaches to get guys to play hard. Anyways, go ahead, Max.
Yeah, I think we have a unfinished coaching staff, and I think we're going about it with the head coach and trying to find the right guy. I think we need to find a right coaching team. You know what I'm saying? I remember out of all the basketball teams I played on, the best basketball team that I was on, our head coach was a basketball guy. Our assistant coach was a football guy. And our assistant coach was a football guy because of the type of characters that were on that team. It was just like, okay, I get it too. Why we had a football guy as our assistant coach. Like, this makes perfect sense with this Bad News Bears style team that we have. You know what I'm saying? So we need a coach with vision, like how Sam Mitchell came to the Raptors and gave us some backbone.
Yep.
We need a coach like Darko, who's really good as like a G League coach. You know, he'd be a great G League coach. You know what I'm saying? The way
he'd be a great assistant coach. That guy to get
an
the
amazing
going.
assistant coach. Amazing assistant coach. The way he can get the younger guys to go hard. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like you can see that is a talent he has. Yeah. But as far as our big guys, our guys that we're paying money to, he hasn't gotten Scotty to be a leader. Like A-Rod said with Walter and Sheed, you know, those guys are just blowing in the wind, but you can see they got talent. You know, like he's doing an awful job with our starting liners, you know, or potential starting lineup guys. He's an assistant coach or a G League coach. So we need more on our staff if you're going to keep this guy around. We need more on the staff.
That's a good point. Up that staff. Big point. I like that. Hey, Rod, when Max says, you know, up the staff and this and that hasn't done well getting our big names to achieve, do you think our big names, and I'm not going to call anyone specifically out, but do you think that we've reached peak oil, so to speak, with any of our big names? Do you think there's that, you know, this can still be going upward, or has it sort of started to decline or just kind of zone out? You know what I mean?
I think you have to say it can go upward because you have the addition of BI, but then you don't know what he's going to be like. So it's like the potential is there for it to go up. And, you know, when
make people better. Yeah.
And when RJ, Scotty, and Quickly all play together, it's a good starting lineup. Right? Like, it's being shown that they can at least compete with the better teams in the league, right? But again, like, we're just so top heavy that you're praying for a guy to develop. Like, you know, going back to my earlier point, like, what happened with Grady Dick?
Exactly. Right?
Like,
good point.
Honestly, I don't know what happened with. Is he hurt right now?
Yeah, he's hurt. Well, he was hurt. I don't know. Huh?
Tank. That was the injury.
Okay. I mean, but like, okay, look at him this year, right? You look at him this year, right? He had quite a few like flashes of being a decent rebounder, very good catch and shoot guy, quick release. He was doing decently with Jakobic's points with his backdoor cuts. You know, he always seemed to be one of the guys that was moving towards the basket and trying to make a play.
Smart.
Mhm.
Yep.
But then he would just go completely fucking missing whenever the other three were playing.
Yeah.
You know, like it would be like some games this guy would have like what 8 points or something like that, or 5 points or something, and
Disappear
you
like
would almost feel like
Elmire.
he was invisible.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like I don't know what we're asking Darko to do. Is he just like what is management asking him to do? Just hang on tight, and we'll try next year. Because
That's a
I
good
don't
word right
want
there
to.
that we don't
That's
bring
right.
up enough. That word right there. You said, "Hey, Rod, what does management want to do? What kind of instructions
It's
is
the best point
Darko
of the pod
getting?
so far.
He's out here
Yeah.
blowing in the wind, looking like a half a retard. What kind of instructions is
And
he getting?
Darko's got to be going home like, what do they want me to do here?
They want you to play the fool. So when they start complaining, we chop your head off.
Yeah.
Like I said this to you guys. What was it, last year or even the year before? Like when they hired him, right? They gave him such a shitty roster, and they gave him like such a unattainable situation when they didn't trade for Fred, or they didn't trade Fred for anything. They let him walk. Then afterwards they traded OG, which only looks better this year because you cashed in on the pick, right?
Yeah.
And then after they waited so long with Siakam, right?
Mm-hmm. That was
So
awful,
it's like
bro.
so long.
they really
That was
just
so
dragged
nasty.
everything and gave him a situation that was just so difficult for any first-time coach,
Yeah.
right? So now it's just like, are we trying to give him slack and say like, oh, he got a shit end of the stick, or is it more like this guy is never good, he's never gonna be good? Why is he here? And I'm kind of in the camp where it's just like I don't really care for his coaching, I don't care for his plays. I don't think he should have started on this team. I think he should have started on like a Washington or a Charlotte, somewhere where like the expectations are they're garbage. This guy just needs guys to play hard.
Change the culture type of.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Get us off the mat type
But
of
with
thing.
the Raptors, it's like you had pieces where they want to make a leap, but then besides
Yes,
talking
sir.
about we're making a quick rebuild. Like most teams don't do quick rebuilds. Most teams take 3, 4, 5 years to do a rebuild, right? So if you're pushing this like quick rebuild in the public, in the media, then like the fan expectations are going to be like, why do we have a guy that can't coach? X's and O's. I don't know. I mean, I'm right there. I don't understand what he's doing. I haven't seen one ATO play this year where I've been like, oh, good job, Darko.
He doesn't have any kind of skills. It seems with
It's vibes.
like with the starters, with the how to fit Grady Dick into the starter and make him work with Scotty, and how to get him to be a leader, how to get that energy that RJ has to spread around, how to get how to develop your rookies and keep them confident, keep the confidence up. I mean, just the playing time of these guys, the roles they're playing, the instructions they're getting. All I see from Darko is he can get the young guys to play well. The dudes, the two-way guys, the dudes you never heard of before.
Yeah.
He can get them dudes to play well, and that's all I see from him.
Yeah, that was one of the things I remember that Coach Dwayne Casey, the one good thing that he did, you remember he gave everybody cards, role cards. He said, this is what your role is going to be, this is what your role is going to be.
Okay.
Like, he would put you in a corner that way, and I kind of don't like that because then it doesn't let you grow as a player and grow as a person. But at the same time, it's like it kind of put the chess pieces on the board when that team needed it the most. Because it's not like this team, was that team that was right about to win the chip. This was like, this was post, this was when they weren't good. And they needed some direction. And they needed some fatherhood, so to speak. You know what I mean? So that's the one thing. It just seems that it's a little, right now it seems like this is a daycare where it's the daycare person.
Good word.
There isn't really controlling them and is taking Ambien to relax. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like this, like, go ahead, play with that shit. Go ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've seen Vince Carter actually, was commentating on the games, and he said Scotty Barnes, like, if he's given the time to develop, can become something similar to a Jokic, like in terms of point forward.
Vince said that.
Don't make me throw up in my mouth, man.
I in my head, all I was thinking was like, Vince, like, I know that you've created special memories for me, like in my lifetime, but I'll say this: you're out of your fucking mind, man.
Out of your mind.
Not
goddamn mind, Vince.
one time in the whole time Scotty Barnes has been here, and that's like 4 years now.
Did
right?
you think Joker?
Did I ever think that like wow, what an incredible pass that he just made, to the point where I was
Nope, nope,
blown away
nope.
like a Jokic style or like a Doncic or a,
He's had some nice passes. Come
no,
on,
but
he
not
has.
like that.
Like the
No,
Joker?
no. I'm not trying to
No.
say
That's what I'm
that, but
saying.
yeah.
He
I
doesn't have
agree.
that thing that makes you say, "Whoa!" He could be like one of those. Nah, I never seen him make a pass like that. Joker and Doncic have made Magic Johnson style passes.
Yeah,
Even though we
yeah,
didn't come up in the Magic Johnson era, we seen the clips.
yeah. We saw the magic. Literally, I hate to. Yeah, I don't want
Yeah,
to like be corny like
A
that, but
Rod
it's
is
true.
right,
There was
man.
magic there.
We've seen some impressive stuff from Scotty, but I've never
Not
felt
like
like
that.
ooh, that ooh. Penny gave me them oohs,
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
there hasn't been many oohs. Yeah, and you remember
Mhm.
when Nick Nurse left and he turned around and speaking about the roster and he's like, "Yeah, good luck." You know what I
Oh
mean?
shit! I
He-
forgot about that one.
Remember that? And so that's what
It
was.
came off a little bitter, but it's true though.
But that's what was given to Darko. It can go back to your point, A-Rod. It's like, what does management expect out of this, right? Like, holy, like it's true. Nick said it. He's like, good luck with that shit. What are you doing? So, short leash or not, I mean, you gave him a real short leash. I gave him a bit of a longer leash, but mine ends next year. Because if Brendan Ingram comes back and you have this little experiment that's being built by management where you got that starting lineup and that shit doesn't work and we still see the daycare being run by the kids, that's where I cut it off.
I'm gonna say it once, and I'll say it now, just so that when we do get around to talking about it next year, like in the present, we can reflect back on this. It is going to take a while for them to build chemistry. Whether or not it works is a different
for sure.
story. But the way those guys play basketball, there is no way it's going to be seamless from the first day.
No.
Like
No.
the way
sports,
RJ
man. That's
plays,
sports.
with the way Ingram plays, and with the way Scotty plays, I really don't see how this is going to work. I mean,
Well, we don't have
unless
any.
you have, I don't know. I really don't see how it's going to work.
Yeah, we don't see how
go
it's
ahead.
going to work because we don't have any identity as a team.
Yeah.
We're expecting the players to lead the way. And that's why you don't see how it's going to work, because it don't work like that. You know what I mean? Like, we need some kind of identity. And then we can see who fits in and who don't. Who's
Yeah,
going to have to
it's so
adjust?
true.
Who's going to have to, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, if the Phoenix Suns want to go defensive, then Booker's going to have to make certain types of adjustments, right? But just having no identity, Booker's out here floating around. Great player, just like the invisible man, you know?
Yeah. Our identity can't just be riding on the fact that we had some cool purple jerseys with dinosaurs on them back in the day. Like we gotta have more than that, man.
Yeah, what are we bringing Brandon Ingram to do?
That-
What are we bringing him in to
He
do? We
better
don't
be a
even know what
killer
Scotty
because-
Barnes is, right? Are we bringing him to be the leader? I thought Scotty Barnes was the leader. Like, are we like what are we even bringing you in for? You know what I'm saying?
They
This
gotta
shit ain't
quit
gonna
putting
work.
these guys in Subway commercials like so quickly and so fast. You know what I mean? Like just.
Oh yeah, you
give
make
them a
good
break.
money in Toronto. You make good money in Toronto, baby.
Subway.
Whether you
man,
suck
like-
or not, man. Oh, you the top guy? We don't know nothing about basketball, but they told us you're the top guy. Here's a big old contract.
Zoop, yeah. Say you like this
30,
sandwich.
30 commercials a year, baby. Let's go.
They need
Man.
to start
Osmos.
Brandon Ingram on I was gonna say Osmos is too big, man. Get him to do something smaller, man, like Brandon Ingram. Like get him to do like some Iolo or something.
Man, I work in advertising. I mentioned it before. To this day, and this is American. Like I work in American for a beverage company in the States. To this day, the best commercial I've ever seen is a local commercial. It was for Osmos commercial. I'm pretty sure it was Osmos. Remember that commercial where it was on a soccer field and the guy passes out
Yeah.
and they bring the Osmos to him and they're like. Need to smell it to wake him up, and he just Habibi, Habibi. And the guy wakes up. Like that shit is the greatest commercial I've ever seen, and I've worked on some big commercials, man. I thought that was beautiful. All right, cool. So we just. I think we just broke it down nicely, to be honest, all three of us. I think it was honest and it was true, and we're not trying to put any fluff around it, man. Like Raptors, for one, Max said it. What is our identity? What are we striving for here? And what do we need these? What do we want these guys to do? A-Rod, like what is saying basically like also like what are we doing here? Like management, come on, man. Like this is like, and you're up in our coach here who hasn't shown me a goddamn thing. Extended for what? fought, and I'm basically
For what?
agreeing with I'm basically agreeing with both of you that this is very confusing. So you got to show and prove. If there was ever a year, no, not even a year, I would say first 20 games of show and prove, it's next year, first 20 games, man, if they're healthy. And the problem is like, fuck, you can't stay healthy these days. So we'll see. Yeah, let's get into this or that, man. Let's jump into another episode of this or
that.
Brought to you by A-Rod, Max P, and El Hoopo. Okay, A-Rod, you weren't here for this episode, the last one, and I threw out a question at Max to bring it, get real personal here on a good level. It's like, because we all played ball, we all hooped growing up, and Max and I shared stories of our favorite basketball memories of growing up playing basketball. Mine was hitting a three when I hadn't played all game in the tournament. Coaches like, Storts, we need you in here. You got to hit this three with 8 seconds left. Boom, boom, clank, clank. Got this shit. Tied the game up. Max P told a story about it was about losing, but it was about the coach saying a real nice little message in the locker room before going out there, where they knew it was going to be tough because they were up against some tough walls going out to, so to speak, on that basketball court, and they fought. So I wanted to ask you, what is one of your favorite basketball memories growing up in this game that all three of us love?
Well, I'll talk about a memory I have, like when I used to live in Flemo. So we had the Gatorade 3-on-3 tournament. It was the first time like any big company ever sponsored a 3-on-3 tournament in our neighborhood, right?
Love it.
So we had it at the rec center, like the main rec center, and everybody from the neighborhood came out. Just literally everybody, right? So my boy Curtis made it to the finals, and he's doing his thing, and he was young, right? Like I think we were like 11, maybe 12. So Curtis is playing on a team with like a couple 15-year-old guys and 16-year-olds, right? But he was just really, really that good. And we're watching and stuff, and this guy is playing against some other guys that are like 15, 16. Curtis gives this like 1-2 cross in the court. Everybody went fucking nuts because he literally crossed this older kid, right? Guy almost fell. Finishes the layup and the move. Whole gym goes nuts. Mid-game, everybody ran onto the court to dap him up. It was like an N1 like street mixtape thing, right? And then afterwards, somebody got stabbed right after the game, and we never got the sponsorship back. But that's still one of my favorite memories of all time, man.
So it go.
Yeah, I would probably say that's definitely one of my favorite memories. My other favorite memory is something like just kind of personal, where when I first moved to this neighborhood, I didn't know where anything was, but I always looked for a basketball court immediately, right? So I took my ball and I biked down the Greenwood Hill. And you know how steep that thing is, right? Yeah. So I went over to Riverdale and I found the court, and I would go every day. I would go from 9 o'clock in the morning. I would come home 9 o'clock at night. I would carry my ball in one hand, bike in the other.
Yes, sir.
Going, right? So it's just one of those things that just, I love actually doing it. Just the process of going down and like being shit tired, your hands are all dirty, and then you're biking up this Greenwood Hill and you're fucking, just dying up the hill, right?
I run that hill every day. It's not an easy hill, man. Yeah, it's so true that every neighborhood you move into, huh? You got one of the first things you do if you're a hooper. You go, okay, I gotta go out there, walk, and find myself a court. It's so true. Find one or two. Like that'll be the one I'm gonna be on my own. Yeah, I like that. That's beautiful, man. I love it. I've never been in a situation playing where that's happened, where the entire gym has come out and gone crazy. I've never been in a situation like that. That must have been
you gotta experience that. Oh,
I never
you
did.
You ain't had the whole town, the school or whatever come out?
No, they were there, but we never did anything like that. Where there wasn't a situation where the entire who was watching jumped onto the court and did shit.
Okay.
Like that. I never had that moment. You know what I mean?
This was like a Toronto half-ass version of Rucker Park almost,
Yeah.
Everybody's just there. And like, you remember when KD hit that, what do you have, like 60 points or something like that?
Yeah.
Everybody went crazy. It was kind of felt like that for our.
What year was that happened that you
99? Oh. What was it, 99 or 98?
Good old days right there.
Yeah, 98, 99.
I played in speaking of a basketball tournament, outdoor tournament. This was West Side. So this is when I was like 26, 27, 3-on-3. playing with DJ Corey Dawkins was on my team. Shout out DJ Corey Dawkins. He's one of the best house DJs in the entire city. Big man. And he was on there with my guy JJ. And anyway, so we're playing this tournament. It's like St. Clair and Lawton area. So like St. Clair West near Kiel and Lansdowne, that area. And we get there, and this tournament was like that. It was raw as fuck. And all of a sudden, midway through, they stopped all the games, and they're like, and they wheeled in this big screen. And this tournament was based on anti-police violence. And they pulled up the screen, and they're interviewing dudes from in jail, talking to the kids in the neighborhood on the big screen, telling the kids, don't get in trouble, like listen to your parents and all this shit. I'm like, this is wild. In the middle of the tournament, this shit gets wheeled out. Dudes from behind bars are just doing interviews. I'm like,
Scared straight.
for real, yeah. These kids were just like this too. Because it was young kids, it was older guys. It was like, man, this is crazy. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Funny. Yeah. But did you ever play in any of those like outdoor tournaments, Max? Like you know what I'm saying? I know you said you had one in the dome.
Yeah, I did the dome twice.
Yeah,
and the craziest games I ever played in was when a Brampton team would play a Malton team. So when we would play Westwood or when we played Morningstar, holy shit, the whole neighborhood would be out there, and it would just be a problem if we won that game. You know what I'm saying? A problem. We won a couple times. It was an issue. We had to go out the back door. Yeah, I just loved those games though, because it had the Rucker
that vibe
feel. You know, everybody's in the crowd going crazy.
I love that
people
vibe.
Throwing stuff onto the court, people getting thrown out of the games, chicks fighting,
I miss those old vibes, man.
Gangsters on the bench, you know what I'm saying, threatening people in the crowd. You always got a couple of gangsters on the bench that don't play. You know what I mean? So yeah, I love basketball for that. Like, it was the culture back then. You couldn't escape it. You couldn't escape it.
It's like going to another school, right? We mentioned in the last pod, and then so if you went to another school and you'd have the CD, the portable CD player, you walk through the hallways of their school playing whatever music you want. Like, we're here, 97 playing Bone Thugs, walking through some school.
When you watch like Warriors, like old movie Warriors,
yeah, man,
or
Warriors.
the something. We are the Black, mighty Black.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the movie that came from had a lot of that. Yeah. Like, we all came up a little bit like that. Feel is great, bro.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Phil, I got a question I wanted to throw at you guys, since this is this or that, and it doesn't have to be about hoop. I thought you two would be able to help them out. So, remember I was talking about my buddy came back from war and all that shit? Remember I spoke about him a long time ago? Well, he's a single man now, man, and he's 46 years old, and he's jumping back on the dating scene now. And he's 46. I'm 44, so he's even older, right? So I think last time he was doing that shit was like before Plenty of Fish. So this is before the internet, basically, right? So he's like, Ben, he's like, Poe, like, should I be going after, like, who do you trust more? Do you trust the bartender, yoga instructor who, is half a yoga instructor, half a personal trainer, half a bartender, half one of those girls, who meditates a lot, that shit? Or do you trust the corporate girl? And you got to keep in mind, this is like 45 plus girls now. So I was like, you know what? That's a great question that I'm going to pose to the boys. Like, who would you trust more at that age? That half and half sort of like, that bartender, yoga master, going to retreats in Colorado, or this one over here, a corporate banker sort of vibe? Like, who do you got? Like, what do you got for this guy?
I trust the one that gives me the least amount of stress. Life's too short, and I don't need anybody to be stressful around me.
Life's too short. Looks like A-Rod got that quick backhand. Quick.
I was going to say something like that, too. Yeah, zero tolerance for no bullshit. Hey, Rod.
The older you get, man. And
you're stressing me out, bitch. You're on my last nerve, bitch.
When shit goes down, in your life, it's just one of those things, man.
Don't you see I'm shaving, bitch? Shut the fuck up.
I can't.
I love it. Oh, Street. So you basically what you're saying is at this age, then you have to balance out. You have to keep your stress and sanity. You're saying is worth more than the fun of that retreat girl, that bartender girl who's probably gonna be wild and fun. But you're saying the stress is at this age is a little bit more worth more.
I try not to base it on what they do for a living, more about who they are as a person.
Yeah. Well, that's how he put it, right? He's like those types. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because some of those corporate people are fucking drama, man. Like they might seem stable, because they got a 9 to 5 and a salary, but upstairs it's anything but. So.
You know how many cocaine crazed accountants I've met in my time, man? Like fucking yeah. What about you, Max? What's your advice?
Let's see.
That was amazing.
So I think you need to be open like A-Rod goes, right? And pay attention to their personalities and not so much what they do for a living. But that being said, I think initially you need to put more energy towards the corporate girl. Doesn't mean she's going to be the one, but I feel like the corporate girl is going to be a little bit more grounded and willing to be in a relationship. Whereas I think as an older guy dealing with a yoga chick, they're kind of all over the place, man. Right? They blow with the wind, man. They blow. You wake up one day and they gone. You know what I mean? They on a whole nother tip, a whole nother vibe. You know what I mean? They like. Especially if they're Aquarius chicks. Oh my goodness gracious! Oof. They flip like that on you. So
this man calling out all of February.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, you
I'm just going by experience. I'm like a Locks. I'm just living off experience, baby.
Wake up, she's got a gun to your head reading your horoscope.
Like what? Where is coming from? Oh, okay, yeah.
Says here, another you dirty switch. Bastard.
Yeah. Oh, here we go, another switch.
God damn, I thought you were done last night. Oh man, I love that.
The corporate chick might be a little bit more willing to settle down. She got that corporate job. She ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. I agree with the both of you, man. There's a little bit of good in both because you're gonna have some fun, and I'm sure like you're gonna want a little bit of fun, but you can have fun on either one of those sides. And don't let. I think you both brought that was the best point of it all. Is that don't judge a book by its cover just because over here corporate chick working at God knows where, CIBC. I'm just pulling that out of my hat doesn't mean that she may still not have her shit together. She may have just got lucky with that job. You know what I mean? And over here, maybe she's she's working part-time here, doing this there. Maybe just because she's been unlucky and she just left this. You got to get to know these people first before you judge, and don't just judge it on that. But I know nowadays though it's tough. I can't imagine what the dating game must be like out there. I haven't done it in God knows how long. So
the best way to meet chicks though, blah blahs. Just keep your eyes open, bro. They're pushing up on you all the time. Sometimes you just don't even notice. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes the girl you're looking for is right there, but you're not in that mode, so you don't see it, right?
Yeah, isn't that the truth, man?
What?
I always used to say blah blahs, man. Go to the aisle. Go to the aisle that you are good in. Like go to that healthy aisle. At least you'll have one thing in common quickly, so you can start it off there. She likes dill pickle chips. Hey, I like dill pickle chips too. Hey, come on, let's go watch a movie. So whatever.
Sound like Rocky there with Adrian, man.
Hey,
head chop.
Hey, yo, butt kiss. Hey, yo, butt kiss. All right, that's another edition of that was nice. If you're listening, Marco, I thought that was some good advice from the boys right there. All right, that was another edition of This or
That.
Brought to you by us. All right, let's go around the NBA quick. I got one.
What about that fight though, man? What about that fight though, man?
So give me your fight notes.
Oh, that ain't no fight. We come from that real fight era, man. Actually, we don't. Like Kevin McHale and them, Kurt Rambis and them, Dr. J and them,
we got the tail
Rudy Tomjanovich and them. They took that. Dr. J and them, Larry Bird, Bill Lambier.
Yeah. The realest fight I've seen in the last 20 years, Malice at the Palace, man.
That was crazy. That was a legit fight. And it killed the league too. It killed the league.
It did, right? We've said that a few times that individually killed the league. The stuff
did,
we
bro.
want back, that was why it hasn't come back.
Hey, what's up with Isaiah Stewart, man? He's got some of that
Beef
crazy
stew?
old, like Ron Artest.
Yeah, they call him Beef Stew. That's his nickname, Beef
I
Stew.
love that shit.
It's a perfect name. It's not as good as AK-47, but it's close, man.
Someone put
It's
on
close.
Twitter the other
Hey,
day, they were like,
shout out.
I ain't never seen one basketball highlight clip of this guy with like a dunk, a layup, like
Just
a
fights.
nice pass, anything. It's just straight up this guy just acting like a crazy man.
Yeah, he's Beef. He's good. He's actually good at blocks. He's actually a good shot blocker.
He's a hustler, man. Every team needs that guy. Every team needs that
dude
guy.
He's wild, man. Even I've seen some clips where like they had audio on him, and it showed him and LeBron, and LeBron's like, "The fuck's wrong with you, man? Stop touching me." That made me
Yeah.
laugh so much because I could picture LeBron. You know, LeBron's just like he's a little bit of like a diva in a way, or he's just
Little
like,
A little bit.
No, but I'm saying like he's a
Guy
little
has
bit of
breasts.
a diva in a sense of like on the basketball court. He's probably like, "Why is this guy touching me?" Like, you know, for the
Yeah,
most part,
exactly.
he's not gonna be
Yeah.
like that until he gets fouled. But this was just like him being like, "Why are you being physical, man? Like, just leave me alone." Like,
No, Beef. That's how Beef Stew plays defense. He gets both hands up on you, and he's right up in your
Yes.
breathing space.
Like
right up in
Tony
your
Allen,
breathing
man.
space.
Tony Allen
Yeah.
used to get that close to you, get up in you like that, and just like fuck you.
Mhm.
Yeah, do something about it if you don't like.
Yeah,
me this
Tony
close.
Allen more of a fuck you, do something about it, but Beef Stew is more like a just invading your personal space kind of vibe type of thing. Like he just up on you. You know what I'm
Be in
saying?
your backpack, like
Yeah,
why
that's
are
why
you in my
LeBron's like, man,
backpack?
like, why are you in my business like this? LeBron's like, nobody plays like this, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Oh, that's hilarious. You know what's funny? You remember when YouTube first popped off? When YouTube first popped off, I remember the first, speaking of NBA fights, the first thing I searched up on YouTube when YouTube first came out was I typed NBA fights, and they had this song playing on an NBA fights. It was the first thing I looked up on YouTube.
Wow.
It was just NBA fights. It was like 11 minutes of just old school fights, like real fights, like what you were saying, like Lambeer and
That is kind of dope. What's the first thing you've seen on YouTube, A-Rod?
for fights.
yeah, I never thought.
First,
that's a
like,
good
what was the
question.
first video that you remember watching on that new thing called YouTube?
Probably the top 10 like plays of the day from NBA.com,
So basketball
Oh, yeah?
too.
and it was like I still remember to this day like Allen Iverson doing the tip slam on Candy.
Oof. Yep.
Damn.
So that's one of the first things you saw on YouTube.
Yeah, and that was like that wasn't the present like video because obviously YouTube came after, right? This was like 96, 97. But I remember that was the first thing I Googled. And then I saw like plays of the day or whatever, or top 10 dunks or whatever of 90 something, 96, 97. And then they had the Iverson tip slam on Camby. I think it was like number 2 or number 3 or whatever.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Can you remember one of the first things you looked up? I remember the first webpage I looked up. First webpage I ever went to, NBA.com. Anyways, what was your first
Webpage?
Wow.
thing you can
Yahoo.
remember?
Probably Yahoo.
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 Huh?
Yeah, like, the search engine. I
Yeah,
can't
what is this?
remember why, but
I still remember my first email address. I was such a punk. I'll throw it out there too. And how I spelled it. No, you know what? It's like that bad. West. I don't even want to say it. It's embarrassing as fuck. Hotmail too. West Side Killer.
Let's go. Let's go.
But spelled Killah.
Let's go.
Let's
I know it's from the Wu era when you say West Side Killer.
Oh man, fuck.
The 10th member, West Side Killer.
Do you remember one of the first things you looked up on YouTube, Max?
The first thing I seen on YouTube was shit. I forgot his name. He's like one of the most the conspiracy guy, Alex Jones.
Oh
oh
wow.
lord.
And I was like, why does this video have so many views? He was the
Yeah.
first star. He was the first star on YouTube
Of that.
before he got kicked out or whatever. Like YouTube actually used that guy and his conspiracy theory crowd to build up their fan base
The
at
algorithm,
first.
yeah.
To build up the algorithm and all that first. Kind of like the internet with porn. You know what I'm saying? Like YouTube used Alex Jones, and I was
That's
like, who is this
hilarious.
crazy guy? And he
And
had
then
a
they
whole
used him
set
and
like he was
abused him.
CNN. He had
Yeah, I
a whole
remember
set
that.
set like it was CNN, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy with like a fake news set on YouTube?
Oh man, that's wild.
Yeah.
Man, that's bringing back memories. Around the NBA, Tyler Jenkins was fired.
Yeah,
From,
yeah.
what do you
Does
guys think of
anybody know
that?
why? Anybody know why?
I don't know. That I do not know. What I did hear was him and Ja didn't get along.
Yeah, that surprises me. I don't.
That's
My own
strange.
personal conspiracy. Just throwing it
Yeah.
out there, not the
Let's
opinion
go.
of this
Yeah, hit it.
podcast. It's just a joke, though.
West Side Killer.
He supplied Ja with the guns, and the Grizz found out.
No fucking kidding.
So they had to get rid of him. Huh? He gave him the bullets. Oh, Tyler Jenkins! Wow.
Tyler Jenkins, right before the playoffs too. I'm very strange. Like they got a decent record.
Fourth in the West, dude.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say.
Very, very strange.
It better be something
situation.
dirty. You know what I mean? Like it can't just be.
It
It
gotta
better
be
not
like
just.
that Udoka level.
Yeah, something exactly, something like that.
Yeah, okay. That might be. But man, Udoka fucked up. The boss's wife. Like really?
Yeah, something like that.
Here's something where like Jenkins smashed Ja's mom.
That's what I was gonna say. Like fuck one of the players' wives or something.
And, like,
No.
he's ready to throw down. And the Grizz management were there. They're eating a burrito, and they're like, "God damn, we gotta get rid of this guy." Boom.
Yeah.
Like,
Or
I
like
hear craziness, man.
Or like a Vince Carter. What do you do? Punch out Sam Mitchell or body slam him?
A little bit of both. I think
little
he
bit of
body
both.
slammed him.
It's a body slam.
They always like lighten the story up, but I'm pretty sure it was worse than it actually was. I think he body slammed him and like actually fought him.
Wow.
But imagine Tyler Jenkins they find out later that he was working for El Mayo. And he's get your Snapchats ready. Tyler Jenkins is on the Sinaloa cartel. Like this shit, he's man.
Fixing games for the cartel.
Right? Oh man.
Hey,
Anything
maybe,
else?
I think it might have had something to do with some of that. What's my boy who's playing for
White
the
shirt. Oh, Terry
Rozier.
Rozier.
You
Yeah.
think it got a Terry Rozier type of implication, maybe?
I hope not. Anything else, boys, that has grabbed your attention NBA wise?
Crazy stat I read the other day, actually insane stat, that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, with all his steals and blocks, is behind Jokic in steals.
Wow.
How insane is that? I thought I would never hear that day come ever. But yeah, Jokic is ahead
That's crazy.
of SGA.
That's interesting because Jokic doesn't do a whole lot of block shots.
I know. But
He steals that boy.
He's more of a
game.
he's more of a steal guy. He'll get it on the pass rather than the shot, right? You know.
and who would you rather have on defense, Jokic or SGA? And it's like SGA all day.
That's
for
crazy.
sure.
So like I don't even know how that stat even makes sense, but there it is.
Yeah, they got some strange stats like Joker's individual stats are insane.
Yeah.
But Shea's plus minus is way above anybody else. Like way above.
Shea's gonna win it this year. Shea will win
Yeah.
it.
He deserves it.
Naturally,
He deserves
like
it.
you're gonna get like he's deserving the voter fatigue. You know,
And they were talking about him last year, so it's kind of his turn.
I think voter fatigue for sure. But he also like you said, he deserves it though.
it's actually insane though that Jokic is top 3 in the NBA in almost every category. Like when you're talking like points, rebounds, rebounds. He's leading his team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, plus minus. I don't fucking. This guy's like every metric
insane,
possible,
man.
like top 3. But I mean, it is what it is. Like,
Yeah. Hey, how local did that clip you sent over? How low did Shea's dad sound on all the smoke? He sounded
Oh,
like
hella local.
bro.
I think if OKC, how many games ahead is OKC in the West?
a bunch. I think they're at 60 wins now. Right now.
Yeah, I think if it was anything less than 10, the award will go to Joker automatically.
You think so?
I know
Less
so.
than 10, huh?
I think they're leaning on the fact that because it's so close and Joker does deserve, but Shea's playing really well, and they can lean on the fact that his team is so much better than anybody else in the West.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
they can just
so
hide
good.
behind that. You can hide behind that, and can't nobody say nothing to you.
Call that right now, boys. How far do you think OKC is gonna go? Because I'm pretty sure I called it at the start of the year that. Oh no, my heart wanted them to win, but I don't think I said they were gonna win it. But where are you at now with OKC's prospects to to do something big this year in the playoffs? Or you still think? Because I know both of you said you were still kind of like they're still young, they're not ready. But where are you at now on that vibe?
First round exit.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
gonna have a look quick and see who they're playing.
I hope not.
They would play the Clippers or Minnesota. Yeah, if they play Clippers or Minnesota, they're out.
Bad matchup. Very bad matchup.
If they play Golden State, they're out. If they play Memphis, they might be able to beat Memphis.
They'll beat Memphis. Yeah, that's a good point.
So whatever, first or second round, out. I'm not even worried about them at all. Same as Houston. Houston's losing first round. That I'm 1,000% sure on. I don't care who Houston plays; they're out first round. That is not a playoff team. You can see it like written all over these guys. These guys have no balls on them whatsoever. The only guy who like plays hard is Dylan Brooks. Fred is the only guy with experience. The rest of these guys fucking suck.
Yeah, they're not ready. The rest of the guys aren't ready. No, I agree with you there. But you, Max, we OKC prospects and sort of
Shout out to
touching
Houston.
some other spots.
They don't belong in this conversation, but there they are. I mean, they overachieved this year. They had a great year, but they're not relevant. They haven't been relevant since the second half of the season when we started to like really look at who's going to make the playoffs. It doesn't make any sense to talk about Houston at all. They're just an overachieving team this year. But yes, OKC, I think they can make it to the finals. They have to be careful with Minnesota.
Yeah.
They have to be careful with the Lakers.
Ugh.
They have to be careful with the Lakers because the Lakers will get up for that. You know what I'm saying? It's the Lakers are a team where if there's enough opportunity for shine, they can win that series. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it's just basketball, then nah. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like that team can get up for one series. One. And if OKC catches them in that one, they're going to catch a L. They don't have enough stamina to win 4 series and make it to the finals. But OKC don't want to meet that team because they'll get up for them. Denver is very experienced. I feel like Joker could win 3 games by himself against OKC. I don't think he can win 4, and OKC is really good, so you have a chance. But man, it's gonna be it's one of the best years in the West for the playoffs as far as
Go ahead.
as far as who you think's gonna win. The East is still
East
Boston.
Is dog shit.
The East is still Boston. I don't think Cleveland can play well 4 series. You know, 2 maybe. The Knicks are very dangerous, but once again, I don't think they can get through 4 rounds of playoffs. You know,
I don't even think the Knicks will be healthy by the time we talk about playoffs.
Jalen's
You know
still
what I'm
not hungry. Healthy yet, is he? Yeah, I'm just
Detroit
looking at the standings right now. And
Detroit's very interesting in the East. They can overachieve in the playoffs the way Houston overachieved in the regular season.
Yeah.
Let's give a shout out to Trae Young, man. This guy's literally throwing Atlanta on his back.
Yeah, they're trying to tank, and Trae Young's like, no, you don't. You know?
Yeah.
Now we're in 7th. Now we're making the playoffs.
Shout out to that guy, man.
And now he's going to be the assistant GM at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
That's what he's
cool.
going to do?
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool.
And everybody's favorite front runner, Tyrese Halliburton, fake All-Star, like Wally Zerbiak said.
I'm still picking Denver and Boston, though.
What was that?
I was just going to ask you guys
the other day in the group chat with him talking shit to somebody. Oh yeah.
Or the guy from Case and Wallace, or was it somebody else?
It wasn't Case and Wallace. It was somebody else, and he was like, "You're undrafted, buddy." Like it was Tyrese Martin or Trendon Watford or somebody like that. And he's like, "Yeah, you're undrafted, man. Like, who the fuck are you, dude? Like to talk to somebody who's like trying to get a job and like work hard and all this stuff, and then you're out here talking to like some guy like just because you like are on a starting
slap
team."
him.
And Austin Reeves is undrafted, and he's better than you, brother.
And he's better than you, like undeniably better than you.
Undeniably better. Undeniably, it's like clear.
And his nickname is Epic too, man. Austin Sleeves.
What'd you say?
His nickname is Epic, man. Austin Sleeves. When he started putting it on the sleeves, they started calling him Austin Sleeves, man. That's
I love that
dude.
shit. Yeah, no, I love that. I was looking at the standings right now, and yeah, you're both right on that. I still think the Knicks are gonna come out of the East if they
Okay.
are healthy,
I hope
and the West, I got OKC making.
But that'll be
finals.
the end of them, though. If they win those 3 rounds of playoffs, they'll be cooked.
That's it. They'll be cooked.
You'll be cooked.
Yeah. I wanted to bring this up before we get out of here, guys, because I was going on my run. I mentioned it in another show on my other pod, and it broke my heart, man. Speaking of the neighborhood, it's at Greenwood and Gerard. I was running past, and there's this girl's missing persons. She's 16 years old. I stopped my run because I'm like, I got a daughter, I got kids. It doesn't even matter if you have kids, if you have a heart, man. Like this shit just kind of like scared me a little bit, right? This girl's name is Camila Benjamin. She's 16 years old, missing persons. And I saw that and I'm like, there's nothing I could do except maybe put it on the podcast, because if my daughter was missing, I don't even know what I'd be doing, man. I'd be going fucking crazy. So, yeah. So I'm feeling for these parents putting up this missing persons poster of your own kid, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put this on the pod. So if anybody is watching this by chance and you've seen this girl, call the police, whatever you got to do, and yeah. So Camila Benjamin, man.
Your human trafficking thing is crazy. I've heard stories that'll make you lock your loved ones up and never let them out the house again. I've heard stories that will make you lock your loved ones up in the house and never leave them again. I try to preach to my sisters all the time. Learn how to shoot. Get your mace. Taekwondo, whatever it is. But please, like, learn how to shoot. Learn and get you something. Because
kick them in the balls, man.
It's real out here.
Whatever you got to do. Yeah,
it is real out here. Like, there's big money in snatching folks up, man.
And man, and just up the block,
your loved ones.
Just up the block. Hey, right, Greenwood. So that's at Gerard and Greenwood. Just up, then right by that bridge. There's another one, Ashley Ayette. This girl's name is right here. So it's like not even a block apart. 2 missing girls in one fucking block. So this girl's name Ashley Ayette. Seen this girl too. So it fucking saddened me and scared the shit out of me. Like you're saying,
it's very
Max,
scary, man.
Yeah, it is scary. So yeah, thought I'd just throw that out there. Not to somber the moment, but just thought I'd do that. Boys, that was fun. So, yeah, we laid it out there for the Raps. They should hire us up. Put us on that staff because they need to fix that staff. But folks who are listening still, thank you so much for checking us as you have all season. We will be back before season's end, and we'll do a recap of what's been going on. Thank you so much for tuning in this whole year. I think there's 10 days left. I think April 11th is the end of the season. So tomorrow is April 1st. So we get about 11 days left in the season for these dinosaurs. So until then, we will chat some more. But keep fighting the good fight, dinos, and let's go. This was another episode of the Sportsitos Toronto Raptor podcast, and we are your hosts. I'm Al Hoopo. That right there, that's A-Rod, and that right there is Max P. You better pay me. So hit subscribe, hit that 5-star review, because that helps the algorithm push us to more eyes and ears, and that's what we want. We want more eyes and ears. And thank you again to all those who have listened and watched us this entire year. Bye-bye.